The Connecticut women's basketball team beat Butler 92-47 to gain the biggest victory of the season. This season may be unlike any the Huskies have experienced in some time, but Wednesday's Big East battle at Butler was a good old UConn women's basketball thrashing for the ages. The number 10 Huskies shook off a shaky return from their extended COVID-19 layoff on Sunday by demolishing one win Butler 92-47 in Indianapolis, their second of 4 games in 9 days. The 45-point margin of victory was UConn's largest so far in 2021-22 by 15 points. Advertisement Connecticut guard Christyn Williams shoots over Butler guard Tenley Dowell in the first half of an NCAA college basketball game in Indianapolis, Wednesday, January 12, 2022. The energy level was great, Coach Geno Auriemma told SNY after the game. The way we played was about as well as we've played in a long time. In one of its more balanced efforts, 5 players finished in double figures, 3 with at least 18. Seniors Olivia Nelson-Ododa and Christyn Williams led the way with 19 points each, a season high for the former and the most since the Minnesota game for the latter. Advertisement Auriemma said he told his seniors after the Creighton game Sunday, "We need more from you guys. You need to perform better." And he thought they did that Wednesday. "Hopefully this is the beginning of a beautiful thing," Auriemma added. Williams had a confidence-instilling game, not just with her scoring but in her impact in other areas. She had a career-high 7 steals, along with 4 assists and 7 rebounds and just 1 turnover. UConn's defense dictated the game as the Huskies forced 27 turnovers, which they turned into 43 points. They also scored 24 fast break points to Butler's 0. "The game was played the way we want it to play, regardless of who the opponent was," Auriemma said. "That's the way we used to play basketball here at Connecticut." Indiana high school junior guard Ashlynn Shade commits to UConn women's basketball team. That tone was in part set by sophomore Nika Mühl, who was all over the place defensively and started her first game of the season in place of Evina Westbrook. The redshirt senior came off the bench for the first time in her UConn career. Auriemma said that he wanted to start Mühl, who is still on a minutes restriction, so that UConn didn't need to wait to take advantage of her defensive impact while her playing time is limited. He added that he's been concerned with the lack of productivity from his reserves, but that Westbrook can now bring that by coming in off the bench. Westbrook finished with 13 points and went 3-7 on 3. Mühl didn't attempt a shot but collected 3 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, came away with 1 steal and picked up just 1 foul in 17 minutes. Freshman Caroline Ducharme scored at least 14 points for the 5th time in 6 games, finishing with 18. Sophomore Aaliyah Edwards was the final Husky in double figures with 12 points, while freshman Amari DeBerry played a season-high 17 minutes and sophomore Piath Gabriel scored her first points of the season. UConn scored the first 9 points of the game and never looked back, leading 25-9 after the first period, at which point Ducharme had nearly single-handedly outscored the Bulldogs with 8 points of her own, and later 48-19 at the half. 5 players had at last 7 points apiece by halftime, but the Huskies' smothering defense stood out most. Butler had nearly as many turnovers as points at the half, which UConn turned into 25 points. It was more of the same from there, with UConn outscoring Butler 29-12 in the 3rd quarter. Latest UConn women's basketball throttles Butler 92-47. For largest victory margin of season. Indiana high school junior guard Ashlynn Shade commits to UConn women's basketball team. In search of an identity, Geno Auriemma hopes getting back to game action will help his UConn women's basketball team find it. Next up for the Huskies is a Saturday afternoon matchup versus Xavier at the XL Center. Aubrey Griffin update. UConn announced prior to the game that junior Aubrey Griffin will miss the rest of the season after undergoing back surgery on Monday, which coach Geno Auriemma had suggested might be the case last week. Griffin never played this season, at first dealing with a high ankle sprain in the preseason that kept her out early before a disc issue in her back ultimately precluded her return. Her expected recovery time is 4 months, the school said. Alexa Filippo can be reached at afilippa@current.com.